Hey Dheeraj,
Hi Sivesh, how are you?
just let me just yeah. The music is off now.
Am I
Let me
audible?
start. Let me start the recording. Okay. Uh, uh, Dheeraj, there is a bit of dark at your end. You are not quite visible and audible as well.
Am I audible now?
Yes, better now, better now.
Okay.
But now we can't see you.
Hmm.
Yes, we can see you also, and I guess we can hear you also now. Perfect. So we are live on Instagram and not Instagram. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. So there are a lot of question already have started cropping in. So we have somewhere around uh, 40, 50 people out watching that on those platforms also. And here also people are joining. So, considering that we don't have a presentation, this for considering that we are not having a presentation for this session because all the last sessions we have like long presentation, but Dheeraj decided to not bore you all. He will just tell about himself, about his background, how he came into entrepreneurship, his journey from an entrepreneur, from raising fund to sitting on the other side of the table, where he decide the fate of the founders uh, as an investor. So he will be briefly discussing about that, and after that we are going to open the open the platform for Q&As. Ayush has already shared the link of Slido out there, so you can go and ask the questions out there. And uh, uh, Dheeraj is regional director of the Angel Network. It is a Ludhiana-based Angel Network, and they have somewhere around 10 to 12 startups into their portfolio. Even Inc 42 is one of their portfolio startup. They have invested into it. So he's the right person to answer questions for the first time founders and the early stage entrepreneurs who who are looking to raise fund for the first time, because normally he deals into the investors and founders who are there for the who try to raise funds for the first time or the seed stage. So he's the right person out here, and it one of the reasons we are unable to conduct this last week was that I was unable to get hold of him. He's quite a busy guy. He's again raising a startup with the name of Merge Intern, and they are doing good. And touch wood, they might be raising fund in like another 3 months, and we are also working on that. So, the floor is all yours, Dheeraj. Just,
Yeah.
just take it up.
Thank you, Sivesh. Thank you for your kind introduction. So first of all, am I audible properly to all of you?
Yes, audible to me. Audible to me.
Okay.
I think
So my
very
name is
audible.
Dheeraj Mehndiratta. I'm regional director at TAN Advisors, the Angel Network. I'm also a founder of Merge Intern. It's a platform for students to uh, take up the tech internships. So my previous experiences, I have failed two startups, closed one. So that was quite a journey working on both sides of the table, where looking for the funds, reaching out to investors, or being on the other side of the table where people are reaching out to you. I consider myself as lucky that I could get this opportunity even after failing my startups, where I could work on the investment side as well. So these are the things which I experienced during my journey. The mistakes which I was committing when I first started my startup. I even raised a little amount in my second startup. We burnt cash both the times, and third time I had to close it down because I could understand that I will only going to burn money, nothing else. So yep. Then I took a reroute in my journey and went on to the sitting on the other side of the table. During pandemic, I again started my own startup. This time I could work on the things, work on the mistakes to not commit again. Okay. So yep. So that's why I told Sivesh that instead of some presentation, we'll be having a candid conversation. I'll be sharing up my experiences and few do's and don'ts. Okay. So this is the main question which everybody asks to anyone from the investment industry: how to approach an investor. The title of our today's session, right? So there is no particular thesis which tells you the right or wrong way. It's just the methods which people have tried, which have worked for them, which might have not worked for them. There are few ways which I'll be sharing with you. Okay. So especially for the first time entrepreneurs, uh, and from the non-elite institutions, I'll specifically mention this because the ones from the IITs and NITs do have advantage, not because of the tag but because of the strong alumni connect. Okay, this is something which is very fair, which I believe very fair. If you don't have an alumni connect, yes, there are few things which you have to take a route outside of your general course to understand the industry, understand the things. You don't have anyone to tell you that these are the right things or these are the wrong things. Okay, you yourself have to introduce to the people, and there can be a lot of mistakes which you can make. Okay, so there are few mistakes which I made when I first started, and obviously which I didn't get any response or didn't get any good results from those things. Okay, first was to reach out anyone and everyone without first figuring out uh, what kind of investor do I need for my startup and what is my actual requirement on daily basis. When I sat on the other side of the table, I started getting messages on LinkedIn every day. Even till now I am getting, hey sir, I'm working on a startup, we are looking for funds, this is my pitch deck. That's it. No introduction, not knowing each other, not asking what you are up to, what you guys are into, what is the areas in which you guys specifically invest onto, just sharing their pitch deck on the first instance. So cold calling, I'll say, okay, this is a good way that you are actually reaching out to someone, but there's also some ways to genuinely reach out someone through the cold calling or cold mailing, right? First, you introduce about yourself, right? Which industry you are tapping, right? Then you ask the other person what they are up to, what is their area of interest, right? Without knowing the other person's perspective, we just jump on to the conclusion, hey, I am looking for funds, this is my pitch deck. And by chance, if you share your number or email ID, you just start getting spam from them, right? So this is the foremost important thing which you must keep in mind. Please make a thesis about the people, the kind of people you want in your startup, right? Getting an investor is like long term marriage, right? Someone's money can come faster to you, but that might not be a smart money, or that money might create that cause problems to you later on. Okay, so I have seen many startups who have raised their seed funding very smoothly. Okay, but in their later on rounds, I have seen startups getting closed just because of no support from their previous investors. So choosing the right person is the most important thing which I say. So before you choose anyone, whether this person is right or wrong with me, you first need to understand their perspective, right? Do they understand about your industry? Okay, would they be cooperating with you when you will be moving ahead, when you will be taking your business to outside world, to a larger regions? Okay, so in this point I actually covered two things. One is to cold calling is good, but you first have to understand what kind of person you are reaching out to. Second thing, even you get a good response, and you are lucky enough to get a yes from them, you must understand and analyze whether this money is right for you or not. Okay, this is the mistake I committed in my second startup. So we were building an app in e-pharma back in 2016. I raised some 60 lakh rupees in 2016 from two people who were some local businessmen from my city. So they said that they wanted to start their investment journey. So I was very happy. Without any efforts, I got people. They just heard about me that I'm working on a startup. They actually reached out to me through a friend, and I was excited that I'm getting investors on board. But what I didn't realize at that time was whether their mindset would align with me or not. I only saw that 60 lakh rupees check. That was the biggest mistake I committed. That money came, but at a cost. That money came, but at a cost. That costed me my peace. my full-fledged running startup. Okay, I was getting pressurized uh, because of their local mentality. They were pushing me to sell the medicines even without the invoices, just to just to increase the cash flow. Why we are not earning anything? And they even told me we would have opened a shop, we would have earned more. You are not making any profit. Unit economics, okay, they were right about unit economics, but there were there were many things which need to be figured out. We were just 6 months old. So that time I realized that was the foolish decision I ever made. I had the money, I had the investment, I had the people who were willing to put money in me, even the further money they could put me in my startup. But their mindset was not aligned with me. I hope Sivesh would agree with on this thing, that the kind of people we meet in the industry, they are actually predators. Okay, they are here to prey on you, not to make you grow. Okay, because an investor is someone who actually works with you when things are not right. I have seen many good startups. They have raised money from some good VC firms, and after 5 years, one of the startup, I won't take the name, they had to pivot. Their previous business model was not working, even though they had 1.5 million people on their app, on their platform, and monthly active user was around 500,000, but still they couldn't figure out that industry. Okay, so after 5 years, they decided to pivot, and the first response, a good response, came from that VC firm to those guys. That was the most important factor at that point, which boosted their morale. So that was the right decision these guys took, having right people. Also, we don't know what a person can, a person who is good now can be bad later on. But still, there are many chances. You cannot go all on chances. There are few things which you can figure out even after two meetings, even on the first meeting. Please understand the mindset of the person from whom you are taking money, because this is not a one time thing. You take the money, you run the business, you hire people, and then you start growing. No, it's an ongoing process. It has to be it has to keep on repeating itself, right? So getting right person is the most important thing. Okay, so it all starts from the reachability, to whom you are reaching out. Okay, so next thing is, uh, which platform or which way is right to reach someone. Okay, again, I believe there is no particular one thing which tells me, okay, LinkedIn is best to reach out someone or Twitter is best to reach out someone. It's all about building relations, right? You don't know me, I don't know you. You come up to me randomly and say, "Hey, I want to raise money." Why would I? If you go to someone's house and you don't even know them, and you simply ask for a glass of water, they won't even give you a glass of water. And here you are asking money from someone who has not heard your name but doesn't trust you, right? So first, relation building is important. So now many of you would be thinking, how with an investor who's at a highest of his level in the industry, how can he build a relation with me? How can I make a good relation with that person? See, when you are approaching someone, even if they have shown interest, even they have not shown interest, you must have conversated with them over some email, or I won't say WhatsApp or anything, let's say over an email. Even if you receive a no from them, right? What you can do as a startup, please start working on one thing, which I realized this time, and I'm actually working on uh, it. So I have started a newsletter, particularly for my stakeholders. Every investor I meet, I send them a monthly or a bi-monthly newsletter telling about my progress, right? If it doesn't interest that person, they will simply unsubscribe me. So there are 40-50 persons with whom I am sharing my monthly report, and two of them have unsubscribed. Okay, I got to know these people will never convert into my will never become my investor. There is no chance of approaching these person, right? But you are also putting them onto the funnel, like you put your customers, like you put your associates, right, with whom you are going to do business, right? So rest 48 people, I know they are my prospective investors. I have to keep on sharing my updates with them, right? And from some, I actually get the feedback for my own startup. This is something which I am doing for me, right? Sharing all the growth, all the challenges which I faced in the previous month with the people whom I think can be putting money on me, right? So this is something which I learned from some serial entrepreneurs, from one of the portfolio startup of TAN. That person actually, see, as an investor you always get the MIS report every month, okay? But apart from the MIS, these people also send you their newsletters telling you what's happening in their business, what's happening in their industry, right? What the challenges they face, what achievements they did. So you keep on getting the regular updates about the person, even if you don't have an interest on first instance. These few little things actually starts arising the interest on the other people's mind. So please try this exercise. This can be really helpful to all of you. Okay. So there are now another thing. I was talking about the platform. LinkedIn is fine, Twitter is fine. It's just a way of approaching to someone. Okay. One more platform which I came across is Lunch Club. Lunch Club is still in beta from past 2 years. It just connects you with the right people, right? There, I'm not even connecting with the. I have not been even connected with the investors only. I am connecting with the people who are mentors, who are industry experts, who are experienced in my own industry. Okay, when I have a meeting with them through that Lunch Club app, just a 15-minute meeting, you share about your business with them, you understand what they are up to. From that conversation the actual relation building starts, and you never know, that person comes up to you with their connects. This has actually happened. I have given two connects to someone whom I met on the Lunch Club. I really liked their business model, I really liked their proposition. That was just a founder to founder call. I was not on that call from the TAN advisors. I was just representing there as a founder of my own startup. And when I saw someone, the founder who is doing good in his business, he was just 4 months old and was working on a product which I really liked. I actually advised him three investors and he reached out to them. So this is the relation building you keep on doing with the people, right? It's not only for the money purpose or not only for taking connects of people, but there can be many things. So another thing is, people don't like to talk to their competitors or the ones who are in the same industry. They have this fear of getting their ideas stolen, especially the first time founders, right? It happens with everyone. Okay. Nobody cares about the idea. Important foremost thing, nobody cares about the idea, right? And if you're talking to competitor, okay, there might be some concerns in your mind, but even talking to your competitor, you might understand few aspects of the industry where instead of competing with each other, you can actually help each other. The All the points which I am telling you today, that I have been applying on my own startup now. I am in touch with my own competitors, and we figured out the ways where we can help each other instead of competing on certain points, right? Where we might harm each other's business. So this is the most important thing, right? uh, that was some off topic thing which I discussed about, from the investors to the founder thing. But yeah, please keep this in mind. Yep. Sivesh,
Yes.
any questions that you want to? I think answering questions would take a lot of time. These were few points which I wanted to discuss.
No, no. I will just like to second the thought that you just said, that it is also job of a founder to find the right investor. It is not like, okay, we are getting money and then it is then let's just sign the papers on the dotted line and get the money out from any investors. The people who might have seen the pictures which was into TBF. So there was a bhujia wala from Ludhiana, your city only. Bhujia from Ludhiana. That guy was asking for somewhere around 50% and giving them money, but they were not having any soft commitment or commitment from, or any chances of getting uh, interest or also from any investor. But still they refused because they knew that working with that investor is not going to help into their startup in any way. So the thing is that when you are getting money from an investor, just try to see what that investor is going to bring to your startup or to your board apart from just money, about his network, his or her expertise into your domain and all. So just look for that. And apart from that, I think you almost cover everything, and the questions have started flowing. But if you also uh, you may mention that them to reach out online, but I would also like to say that there are a lot of offline events and like investor connect events. Even in e-summits, a lot of investors come. So I think that is also a really great opportunity for first-time founders or founders to reach out to these investors. Prepare your elevator pitch. So basically, elevator pitch is like a two-line of your entire pitch deck. So you will going to tell what your product is, whom you are going to target, what is the market sizing, how you are solving the problem in two lines. So this is what elevator pitch exactly is. Prepare your elevator pitch, make it as good as possible so that you can convey the message into those two lines, and try to reach out to investors into like these kind of gatherings. So it really, I know this what's the name, the 100 VC guy, what's his name, Sanjay nahi,
Sanjay.
Sanjay. Sanjay Mehta, yeah. So they have started a elevator pitch kind of thing into 100 VC. So they uh, give like 30 1 minute time to the person founder. If that person is unable to describe their product in those 1 minute, they take the deal further. So this is something also that the founders should understand and know. And that's it. Any further tip? Because Dheeraj, you have been meeting a lot of founders. So can you also tell them about how to reach out to domain, how to find out the domain specific investors? Because I see that the first time founders generally it is like a mass mailing to all the investors. They just please find attached the pitch deck and they send it all across to all. They are completely unaware of their domain, their thesis, or their mandate of investment and all. So if you can throw a bit of light, so I think it will be really helpful for the people out here.
Yeah. So I saw someone putting up on LinkedIn like, "Hey, I got a database of all the investors. So email IDs are there, phone numbers are there, and people are writing interested." So that data is not going to work, right? Simply, what I personally do, there is no particular a sheet which tells you that this is the investor. You just simply go out to the few VC firms which you know. Okay, you can check out their portfolio, what kind of startups they invest into, right? There are few people who are only invested into the social impact startups, so you cannot go to them for something which doesn't meet their thesis, right? That you have to understand. You actually target out people just like your TG, your target group. You also make a list for your target investors to whom you want to reach out. Okay, there are few which are sector agnostic, who can help you in any sector that you come from. There are someone who are I'm so sorry, who are very particular about the sectors, but it's not like that you made your pitch and you start mailing it to everyone and anyone you meet. Okay, you cannot please anyone and everyone. Okay, you are just spoiling your chances. Figure out 10 people from your industry, see what investments they have made, then figure out whether you are ready to reach out to that person, whether you would be able to answer every question related to startup, and what amount of money that you really want to raise, and in what period of time. Many of people actually do not, when okay, once they have approached to investors, they are not able to ask this thing, or maybe out of this fear that they might lose the connection, or a bad impression, they will might put a bad impression that hey, in 3 months I'm going to raise money, right? This is the exact amount that we want to raise. Even if we don't meet our requirements, we will raise the amount into 2 parts or 3 parts, but we definitely want to raise money in 3 months, right? Figure out your time period. Okay, to whom you are meeting, speak that thing with that person, and if they really want to help you out in that, I think that investor can be right person for your venture, right? It's all about just pinpointing the people who are right for you or who might not.
Perfect. I think let's go to, because the questions have started flowing, and
Okay.
there are a lot of questions, and a lot of discussion can take place through the questions only. So let's go through the questions, and let me just share the screen. Okay, so generally the people ask anonymous questions out here because they don't want to name themselves and feel like a person who doesn't know anything, but still that is okay till they are asking the question.
Mhm.
So the first question is, sir, that's an eye opener. Please tell me then how to select a good investors. Okay, so Dheeraj, your
What's
points
the
of finding.
meaning of a good investor? This I don't understand. So, like I said, someone who can be good for you or who's a good fit for you, you have to find that fit. Okay. So that's the definition of a good investor here. Okay. He might not put money on you, or he might put money on you. That's a separate thing. But first, you must select whether this person meets my criteria. He comes from the industry, he brings in the expertise which might help me in getting further onto my journey. Okay. Yep.
Okay, perfect. When we talk about good investors, it also matters a lot that how that person is connected into the industry or the domain, and if what is the portfolio of that investor. If he is a person who have invested in more than one company, he have some good startup into his portfolio. That means it will be a good deal to have with that investor. So also try to check if that person is having any or some good startup into his portfolio or her portfolio.
Right.
Uh, Tanisha Devra, founder and CEO of TION. I am young entrepreneur in tech fashion. Can you please tell about funding and best sources to expand national level? Okay,
So
there are two part of the question. First, you wanted to ask about funding, which I am not sure what exactly she wanted to understand. It's and the second is the scaling up
okay.
its
So
startup.
Tanisha, your question is, I think, not complete. I do not know what you are exactly doing in the fashion. Okay, this can be your clothing line. This can be a an e-commerce platform, right? So, Sivesh, I cannot see the question.
Oh, oops,
I'm
just a
reading your chats.
no, just a second. I just moved. The questions were there, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. So first, I need to understand this. Okay, that what you are actually looking for here, and best source to expand national level. Yes. Again, for that, I need to understand your exact business, what you are into. Okay. So sorry, I'm not able to answer this question. Okay, next question. Did it mean that the money is not that much important in funding compared that the mindset and the connections they have? Is it so? Yes, it is really important. An investor not only brings the money but also brings the industry connects, which helps you in further getting business and further getting the next round of funding as well. And here, let's keep the next round of funding aside. Most important thing is business connects, right? If I want to sell a B2B SaaS, then I will be getting a person who has worked in that industry for quite a period of time, which can help me to get me my scale up my B2B business. Okay, he must be having good connects in the industry and he can get my product to the places. So this is the most important thing I'll be seeing here instead of the money. Okay, there might be some people who will come up with money, like I said previously, but not with the industry connects. What's the use of that? Okay. Right, it's actually a multiplier for you to having such investors on board, because they work both ways, as your mentors, as your advisors, and as your investor. Okay, so they are putting their brains and their money on you. Okay.
And also, when you are raising the money for the first time, that will be the first round when you are raising it. It is really important to have an investors who understand your survey startup, as well as understand the founders, because uh, to be frank, it is something like what to say that it is like a kid. The startup ecosystem or the funding scenario entirely is something like being a for the first time founders. It will be like being a founder into uh, uh, a kid into a topless bar, something like that. So you will be unaware of anything and everything which is going around you, and for that you need investors who is going to hold your hand and take it further. You so more than just putting in money into your startup, that person should also be uh, something like a mentor figure for you or an advisor for you. So this is something that which you should also look into a investor if you are raising it for the first time at least.
Sivesh, it's not even about the first time. I believe even if you are you have raised previous amount of funding, and now you are getting someone who's a veteran of your industry. I would love to have a person like that on board, right? With them, I am bringing the amount of experience they have got in the number of years, right?
Mm.
I'll be getting that as a bonus.
Yeah,
So yes.
it's always good. Okay, so let's move to the next question because questions are increasing
Yeah,
and we
can may okay, can may.
go
I will
ahead.
also start this newsletter. Any tips for starting this? So anyone you are having conversation with, you have their email ID. Please use any platform. Send in Blue, Send Grid, or Mailchimp, and put them. Make a mailing list of your investors, just like your customers or users to whom you send emails. Make a separate list for the people, for your prospective investors, and start reaching out to them. Do not spam them, just the genuine business progress. Keep on telling them every month. Okay, genuine business growth. Okay, any challenges that you face or any challenges that you solved, right? This is important.
Yeah. So I would also like to add here, if you are starting a newsletter and adding them into your mailing list, just inform with a mail. Have a courtesy to inform with a mail in advance. Okay, so we met at such and such place. We follow a process where we share our company updates or the startup updates with the news with the founders. So we would like to add you into the mailing list. Just shoot a mail, and even if he or she is replying, please don't add, just add him, add that person. Later they will unsubscribe themselves if they don't want to be into the list. But just have a courtesy thing to just tell them that you are adding them into the mailing list,
So
because
there's an option on email as well. When you are adding someone to your email list, they receive an email whether you want to continue receiving the updates. So just go with that without spamming someone's privacy. Just a basic thing. Just a basic email etiquette here. Maintain that. Okay. Next question, being a CA, how can I get knowledge of new startups, as it will help me increase my practice and also help startups as to solve their tax and accounting issues? Okay, so you can list out to your services to various incubators or various co-working spaces where there are a number of startups, and you might get a good clientage out there. Okay, just start tying up with as many as people you can. This might bring you a good business as a chartered accountant. See, it's not about the tax and accounting issue. People also need, which I believe they are not getting it from their conventional chartered, the knowledge they require while taking a few steps, while forming few drafts of the contracts or agreements they are entering into. Many a startups, many a founders need help with that as well. So first, I believe start educating people, which you can simply do on your LinkedIn as well, or on your channel, on your any social media channel. I think people will start reaching out to you.
and being a CA, I will also like to say that start providing services like creating the financial projections or financial reports and all, because you people are like expert into them. And to be true, when I started with my first startup, which was like 7 years back, I was not even aware that there is something like filing a return and all. So try to educate them, try to join as much as community as you can. Like we have a startup Monk community, we have somewhere around 40,000 people into it, 40 to 50,000 people into it. So there are other communities like that where a lot of first time founder or student who are just out of college are part of that, and they are starting up. So finding a join some communities. You can always find people onto LinkedIn. Then, as Dheeraj advised, go to co-working spaces and get there, and try to expand your services, because in startups they look for somebody who can take care of more than one problem of there, rather than having a specified chartered accountant who can only take care of tax and accounting or bookkeeping and all. So try to expand your services. Like you can bouquet of services, like you can also provide the financial projects, and you can also work on their balance sheets and PL sheets, and then you can also draft the contracts for them and all. So these
Uh,
are these way you can enter the startup ecosystem, because startups generally look for generalistic services whenever it comes to anything.
Yeah. So here, education is really important. One last point, I'll go with the CA question. that many people have not even drafted the founders agreement, which actually sets out the duties and responsibilities of everyone in the company. Yeah,
Mhm.
just to avoid any mess, right? So I think the education here can play an important role. Okay, so next, how we approach an angel network at what stage? Any stage is a right stage. It's just that you must have a solid approach on toward working on your venture, and you have figured out few things that how will be you making this business and running this business, right? Do not come up when you are not ready. Okay, so if you are ready doing some business, I think at TAN Advisors, we usually work with the startups who have gained some basic traction and basic revenue. Okay, to be very frank, there might be some investment firms who invest on you even you are not you do not have a basic traction or you do not have a basic revenue. But this is our firm's thesis that we are only working with this. We only work with the startups who have gained some basic traction or some basic revenue. Okay, so this actually changes from investor to investor or firm to firm.
From domain to domain also.
Yep.
Because if you are a non-tech startup, I would always advise you to first go to the revenue stage and generate some revenue out there, or get your unit economics into place, and then only go to the investors. But if you are a tech startup which is like into a futuristic tech kind of thing, that at also at a prototype of MVP stage, you are ready to go to angel investor. It depends, because it is like a moving machine. It is like a machine with a lot of moving parts when you
Hmm.
talk about fundraising, and we know it because we are into this for last like couple of years. So there is not a right answer to this, but still, as Dheeraj said, you need to be ready from your side when you are going to the investors. And second, there are like a framework. I think it is part of our fundraising course. So we have created a framework when you are ready to go to investors. Because it is also important that if you are going to get money, what you are going to do with that money. So for that, you need to be ready. So that's why I believe we answered the question. Let's move to the
Okay.
next.
So related to this question, someone just asked a question. I'll just skip these two questions. I'll come back to it after this. What does
Mhm.
basic revenue mean? Can you help quantify it? Shishir, Shishir, there is no particular way to quantify this. Okay, if you are, let's say you are selling t-shirts and in every month you are only generating a revenue of 50,000, that's very less, yeah. That's very less. If you have 500 rupee t-shirts and you have only have a 50,000 revenue per month, I won't be even working out with you, even won't be listening to you, because you have not put up any efforts, right? Yep. This way I can quantify it, but this amount can change as a startup to startup. If it's a B2B startups, and I cannot expect them to do the heavy revenues in just 1 month, have hundreds of clients on board. They might take one client a month or one client in every 2 months, right? So the metrics will change. Okay, this you have to think what kind of business you are into, and what is the sufficient amount of business that you are doing. Okay, now this gives you a runway of this much time, and after this much time you might want to raise more money. Okay, that actually creates a real need of money. Okay, it's not that you still have, let's say, 10 lakh with you, and you have just started previous month and you did a revenue of 3 lakh, and as per your calculation, you know, you don't have much team, you don't have much burn rate, you can still go for 1 year, but still you are running behind the fundraising. Okay, so I'll say please avoid that. So what do you think we need to show to an investor as edge or idea or some revenue?
Oh,
Idea enough or
I will just say ideas are dime a dozen. So nobody is going to invest onto your idea until and unless you are creating another SpaceX, or until and unless you are Kunal Shah. No one is going to invest into your idea. The rest I will leave on Dheeraj to continue with the
or you are creating antimatter or maybe interdimension portals.
interdimension portals. Nobody is going to invest into your
Yeah.
idea.
Okay, so actually, if you read out the stories in the media, that let's say a person like Kunal Shah came up with the startup, and even before starting he is raising money, please don't go into the story. Okay, they have made their previous startup, they have sold that startup, they have built a trust with the investors and in the industry, so people definitely would be putting money in them, right? So there's no comparison just by reading some random news on the media. Okay, so and you read this person raised money even in first month. You don't know what this person have been doing in his previous work to make his credibility in the industry. Credibility makes a difference, right? Yep. Next question is, please tell me how to create an elevator pitch for my startup. Actually, this is an ongoing exercise. This is not a one-time thing. Even I think it's been 5 months. When I started Merge. Every 10-15 days we keep on working on the story that we want to tell people. We keep on improving it and keep on taking uh, uh, what do you call review from people. Even I sent my pitch deck to Sivesh asking what are the mistakes, where I can improve. Okay, this is my pitch with which I reach out to my prospective investors, right? And even to my uh, uh, director here, Mr. Nitin, who is the founder of TAN, I reach out to them that, hey Nitin, this is the pitch I made for my own startup, right? So if I tell you this in 3 minutes, would you be able to understand? He said, okay, make changes in these pitches. You are not able to convey your idea or your business model properly. So it's an ongoing process here. Many resources are available. I hope you must be attending Sivesh events or webinars regularly. Then you would have known how he emphasized on this thing and help you in actually creating a better storytelling ways for presenting your venture idea. In start,
The
how much equity should we give to an investors if we already are two founders? Uh,
In start, how much equity should we give to an investor? Okay, you are not going to give equity to investor. Investors take your equity. First, have a clarity over that.
right.
Okay. Second, when you are going to go for fundraising, the investors will also be asking you to create an option pool. So a lot of founder doesn't know about it. So he will generally ask something between 5 to 10% to be created an option pool, and you have to park those equity so that in future, if there will be ESOP options or you are bringing in some mentors or advisors, so you can give them equity from that 10%. So 10% gone there, the rest 90% you have to decide. And then it will be completely dependent on the valuation of your company. Suppose that you are raising a fund for the initial, a pre-seed, you can say, or an angel stage of somewhere around 2 crore rupees, and the problem that you are solving is like really good, and you have been valued somewhere around 20 cr or say 40 cr. Then in that case, for raising, if it is 40 cr, you are raising like 2 crore rupees, 2 cr, then the dilution will be only like 5%. The investor is only going to take 5%. So it is completely the case of the valuation what you are at what value your startup is valued. So it depends on that, and the valuation depends on a lot of factors like the prospect, the market potential, then the revenue that you are generating, and the even the background of the founders and all. So yes, Dheeraj, your answer on it.
I think before raising money, you just cannot go out to someone, hey, I want to raise money, and you don't even figure out the amount. There are many things that at this valuation you would be raising this much money, and what kind of deal you want to get into. You want to get into the convertibles or the equity, or even 100x VC has introduced safe notes in India. Okay, you can read it out there on their website that these are the options which you actually choose and then discuss with the investor if it suits them, whether they would be coming onto the convertibles or onto the equities. And now if anyone wants to ask about what is safe note and what are convertibles, you can read it out on the internet, because that would take another session like this
Now,
to
yeah.
understand, right? So that equity, the deciding the equity is not just which comes up in your mind, okay, I want to raise 2 crore, I'll be giving 10%, I'll be giving 15%. No, it's actually a calculation where your business is being valued, that how much work that you, how much users you have acquired, how much revenue or traction you have acquired. According to that, the whole documents have been made. Okay. So hi Dheeraj.
Last, I just wanted to add one more
Yep,
thing.
yep.
And if you guys have seen Shark Tank, so if you are going to ask a huge amount of money and you will tell that you are going to give this much equity only and you are stick on that, that means you are going to, the investor is going to show you the door. So please do that calculation before reaching out to investor, that what is your actual valuation and what will be the equity that you are ready to give to investor in return of the money that he is going to give you.
Yeah.
Equity investment are generally selling your company, a part of your company. So have a better clarity. Work on the Excel sheets, which I don't think that founders generally do. So I really love working on Excel sheet and Google sheets. So work on that. You will find the right number out there. Dheeraj, next question for you.
Yeah, how you come up with the investors in your second startup? Okay, that was the through some reference through a friend, that these people reached out to me. They got to know that I was building something. So yes, I can say the reference. That's how I could get the investors. Yeah, simple answer to that question. Okay. Next, what do you mean by understanding the mindset of the investor who is interested in the team and the company? How do you know this? Okay, when you are talking to someone, you actually get to know their interest. Okay, you actually get to understand whether they are actually listening to your what you are presenting to them. Okay, they are taking interest in the business, in the market you are onto, right? Their interest can be that interest can be shown with the with the next round of conversation which happens after you showed them your business model for the first time. Okay, so you get to know this by regularly conversating with them. For example, you are reaching out to Sivesh. He tells you, okay, we'll reach out to you. Okay, I got your pitch deck. Then I don't think that he has shown any interest. Where he actually listens to you and asks you questions and asks you to get back to you once he does his work around your startup or your venture or your industry, then I think he has shown some interest onto you. That's where he has entered your funnel, and he has become your prospective investor. Yep.
Yeah, and the thing is that raising the funds or getting an investor on board is almost like a sales job. So you need to the what just Dheeraj just mentioned. You need to create that funnel also. And being if you anybody of you are from the sales background, the moment the moment the consumer or customers utter the first word from their mouth, a salesperson can make it out whether that customer is going to buy the product or not. So it is a sales job, and you need to be like psychologically ready for it. So you will easily understand whether the person is showing interest into your startup or not. Perfect. Next question. I think we have another 10 minutes, so I am not going to take any more questions today. Last time it was 1.5 hours.
How should you approach an angel investor, and at what stage in the company? Is it pre-seed viable? I am currently building a college focused startup. Okay, nice. Wish you luck for that. Like I said, that whenever you feel that it's the right time to reach out to someone where you can really sell your vision, like Sivesh said, it's a sales job. You have to get back to the question, please.
Oh, just a second. I was just looking for the other questions.
Forget that your screen is on share.
Yeah, I was looking for question on LinkedIn, so sorry. Go
Oh,
ahead.
so you have to figure it out when you are ready to take up the person who can actually bring in some value to your business. Okay, when is the right time? That you first decide, then you reach out to people. Okay, about the viability of any round, that is a very subjective question. Okay, if I'm, let's say I'm into research where I'm building, let's say, something related to the diabetes. I'm researching about that, and I know I won't be able to first launch my startup for, let's say, a year, and I might need a lot of money to conduct various research. That yes, I'll reach out to people even before launching it out. Okay, and the ones who would really be interested in that industry will definitely join my cap table, be a part of my cap table, right? So if you are building a college focused startup, I will say first work on your idea and do some basic MVP, even without building the technology. Just build the basic forms and start reaching out to colleges and the students, interact with them, understand. And if you really need money, then yes, there are various programs which are going on, which do not actually emphasize on the stage you are on to. Let's say 100x VCs there, they do not consider your stage. Any stage is good for them. They have this program for inviting 30 40 early stage startups, right? Yes, and that programs or maybe some college level incubation programs are happening. These programs can be a right place for you. You have to figure it out whether at this stage you would be going for a grant for prize money. Let's say there's a competition, you earn 5 to 10 lakh by participating it. that can be really helpful, because this might come without any commitment to some other person. You have just won this money or received this money as a grant. This is your money for your own startup, where there is no control of any other person. This you have to figure out. I hope this answers my question, Shishir. This answers your question. Yes, okay, nice. Okay, sir, can tell us a few investors' name who invest in things like of IRCTC railway related? No, I can't. Actually, I don't have any much knowledge about that. First, these are all the government-run companies, public companies. Now, if they are getting acquired by the private players, then might be buying it. So this is not a relevant question for here. I'm sorry. Brilliant idea to start a bi-monthly newsletter to convert prospective investors to investors. A great example of building in public. Okay, that was not a question, that was a compliment. Thank you.
Compliment. And yeah, there are because I always say, even if the investor is not interested into your startup, or even he is not responding to your pitch deck or anything, don't burn the bridges, because you never know when you are going to need that investor. Not for If not for investment, you might require that person to connect you to somebody into the industry or something like that. So
Yeah.
never burn the bridges when it comes to investment ecosystem. It might be possible that he knows somebody. If you are going to raise a second round of a say Series A, so it will be basically institutional fund. So you will be going to VC. So the person whom you are whom you have had a fight with or something like that, you have written about him on LinkedIn or anything, anywhere place, he might know somebody into the VC firm. So when they will be doing the due diligence, it will come out into the open that okay, so the founder, he is a person who loses his cool easily. So these are small things which also uh, uh, can sabotage your fundraising process. So even if the investors are not interested into your startup, even they are not investing into your startup, just don't burn the bridges. It is nothing to keep them happy all the time, but don't also make them like angry or sad. So just try to do that.
Yeah. So, Dheeraj, how you come up with the investors in your second startup? I think I have already told in.
Already answered this
Yeah.
question.
Investors in India compared globally are interested in startups generating revenues with 6K B2B users. Well, that's amazing. I haven't started charging yet. What are your thoughts on this? First, that how much time you have built all these users. Okay. What value you are generating to them? What business value that you are creating with this 6K users? Okay. Whether you are giving them something for free, which ticket price is only, let's say just for an example, let's say it's only 1,000 rupees per year. Okay. And you have 6K businesses with you, the B2B users, and the annual value of the business that you are generating is only 1,000. Assistive technologies can help the visually impaired education. How can I approach? Okay, so how can I approach the investors? Okay, with this actually comes up with the social impact as well. I think there was this program related to the social impact. I read about it on the Startup India portal. I think a month back there was this cohort which was running for all the startups who are into the social impact, and I think that this is something you are doing in that area. So these programs can help you out in reaching out to the particular investors. Frankly speaking, I haven't worked in this area, so I might not be able to tell you the people who are investing actively onto this. But there are few social impact, few VC firms who have the thesis of actually investing into the startups who are doing good for the rural places, for the visually impaired, for the disabled ones, for the specially abled. I think this might help you with that if you reach out to those people or to those firms. Or you can please simply reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. We might discuss it more on it, and I might help you in getting in touch with some people. What does basic revenue mean? Can you help quantify it? I think we answered it previously. This question, the last question, for a gaming startup and edtech startups, what would be the basic revenue required to approach investors? I think this was something similar to the previous question, the quantify one. Okay. uh, I'm not saying that everyone sees the revenue. I was just telling you all about my firm, which actually considers the basic revenue. Okay. So in gaming startup, I don't think that many people would be paying you if it's a mobile gaming. You won't be getting any upfront money from the people, right? You might start charging subscription, but at a later point where you'd be having more than a million users. Okay, or maybe revenue through the advertisement. So metrics here are different. And on edtech startups, I don't know whether you would be selling courses or providing jobs, or maybe creating a SaaS product for the colleges, for the schools, or for the stakeholders. Again, the subjective question, which changes from condition to condition, from venture to venture. Okay. I believe in the end, only a founder has to decide when is the right time to reach to someone. It's not just you just woke up your bed the day you decide, okay, I want to go to investor. No, it takes a lot of preparation before reaching out to someone, and the other person must also feel the genuinity that yes, this startup is doing good and now they are in need of money. This might be the right time to step into this game. That's it.
Perfect. I think we are done with the questions here. I don't have anything to say because a tech startup at present scenario, I think even if you get registered your startup as a tech, they are going to fund it in the
Exactly.
pandemic situation. So it's completely a different ball game as of now. But uh, you will be requiring some revenue for both these gaming startup. I am not that much aware of the gaming startups because I haven't even mentored or been into any know any founder who are into gaming industry. So I am not aware. But a tech startup, I think the chances of getting funding is really high as of now. And let's see, because the thing is changing. As soon as the vaccine will come, students will start going to schools, everything will change.
Yeah.
So Dheeraj, there are one or two questions I guess there into uh, the chat screen.
Yeah,
So
yeah, definitely. We have, I think, 4 minutes more. I can
uh,
answer as many
uh,
questions I
so
want.
the,
You can. Yeah,
it is
I've
a
shared
question
my
from
LinkedIn ID as well. That
uh,
was sent to someone privately
we
by.
will share, when we'll share the video after editing it, we'll share that also.
Sure.
So this question is from the Jerry Glass. Okay. Hi, I am a non-technical founder, but my idea requires technological knowledge. I have found a web developer online to build a web app, but it is that a wrong move, or should I learn web development and build my website by myself? Okay, it is like Jerry. The thing is that it is not necessary to be a coder or a programmer to start a startup. It is not required, completely not required. You can always find, it is the best will be to find a friend or a co-founder or a colleague or a family member who can do it. Make that person a co-founder, dilute some stake with him, give him some stake, and then move ahead with your startup. You can, as you mentioned, that you find somebody on the web also, a web developer you can find. The thing is that every startup has its core skill set and its core business. If your startup, the core of your startup is completely the web or technology, then you need somebody who will be like a master into that and a permanent person out there. But if it is not the core business of your the core business of your startup is not the website or the app or anything like that, then you can just hire a consultant and get it done. So it will depend on the business that you are into. Dheeraj, your thoughts?
Yeah. So if it's, let's say, for example, if it's a D2C brand, you're selling your own a product with, let's say, a coffee. Okay, you might not need the full-fledged e-commerce thing or e-commerce setup. You can just simply make it on a no-code platform like Bubble or WordPress and start working it out. Or maybe might work it only with the informative website, not the completely functionable website. Okay, I tell you an example. In my second startup, we built an app just to sell the medicines. We ended up realizing in the tier 2, tier 3 cities, the 2 3 cities we covered, people are not able to generally spell or write down the actual spelling of the medicines. Okay, so we integrated this one click option where they are just sending the click of the prescription, and we are sending them the medicines. Okay, that's when we realized instead of the application we were getting more orders on the WhatsApp. So this actually finishes up the whole motive of building an app.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, when the user base increases, there comes the more usage of application to different kind of audience, to different kind of people, but not initially actually. Okay, we next question from Chetan Jindal on my screen
This
is,
is the last question because we have reached the 6 p.m. mark. So this will be last questions. Okay, perfect. So yeah, Chetan Jandan, go ahead.
we have started a business related to Naukri. Okay, we are getting a good, first of all, bad pitch. Okay, first of all, bad pitch. There was a time people used to say, I am becoming a Uber of this, I'm becoming a Oyo of this, but no, you are original, you are yourself. Okay. Uh, so we are getting good response. That's good. We need an investment so that we can do marketing on a large scale. Okay, so you only need money to put your banners on the hoardings or put your advertisement on social media. That's it. There might be some other channels to grow your business. Okay, if you are doing so good, then I don't think you need money now.
Yeah.
You have to first figure it out that what is the exact purpose of raising this money. Okay, yes, expansion is there, but what will be the use case if you are becoming just another listing platform? Naukri started more than a decade ago. Okay, we don't need the listing platforms anymore. No one is investing onto that, I'm sure, right? You need to do something beyond that. If you're actually let's say there are many platforms which are providing jobs to the students. Let's say Pesto, they first train people and then get them placed onto the companies. They do a cohort of 30-35 people. If you are just putting up the listings on your platform, this might not work. Okay, that's a feedback from my analysis, because I am into the similar industry, not the same, into the similar industry, where we are also working on the job section, and we have actually we realize that listings don't work anymore. Marketplaces are not working anymore.
The listing ecosystem or the listing landscape is too saturated as of now.
Right. Because
And
if
nowadays,
you are
even
not being able to survive without burning hell a lot of a cash, then how you can survive in that market where now investors are now more smart after burning their hands previously?
so it is a like a really bad space to be into the Naukri, the related to whatever the job portal and all. If you are doing it with AI and ML, then it is something completely different. But I don't think that India
So,
is that much.
see, Sivesh, I'm not focusing on the technology here. I'm not even saying that his idea might be bad. It's I'm just saying that okay, if they are actually onto the listing, what problem really they are solving with the listing?
Yeah.
Every day I come up with the LinkedIn pages who are doing more good than any portal.
Hmm.
They are just listing up the jobs and internships, and people are actually getting it, right? They are doing more good than any new startup
And,
which is coming in. Hey, I am providing jobs. Okay, most of the job listings are fake there, and many people don't even revert back to the people who actually apply, right? So you have to focus on a particular problem there. Okay, and yes, elevator pitch, you can definitely work on to that.
yeah. And second, when you talk about you need money investment for the marketing. So to burst the bubble out here, when you will going to get investment, the marketing budget is not going to be more than 30 to 40%. If you are going to put more than 40% onto marketing budget, then investors are not going to give you money for that also. So
Exactly.
just think of that also.
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. I think we are done.
Yep.
So we are finally
I
done.
have shared my LinkedIn profile on the chat box.
We will share when we will share the recording, we will share the LinkedIn profile as well. We will try to share your email ID if that is okay with you. Email ID also with the people out there. Okay.
Thank you, Sivesh. Thank you, everyone. For
Thank you, Dheeraj. Thank you for taking out time. And I will get back to you. I will just text you because I need something from you also. And your pitch deck is still, I haven't received the pitch deck.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye, everyone. It was really nice having conversation with you all, and thank you to Sivesh for having these sessions where you are actually educating people where they can take right steps. Right. So bye everyone. Have a good day.
Good day. Bye, Dheeraj. Okay, guys. So we will be editing this session, and we will be sharing it within a week time, because we also need some time. Till then, wait for the next week. We will be bringing some other investor or an expert from the startup ecosystem for next session. And till then, bye. See you.